Welcome back, history finders. Today, we step behind the rusted gates. Look at these towering iron silhouettes cutting through the Pennsylvania fog. This is the Carrie Furnace in Rankin. It looks less like a factory and more like a Gothic cathedral built for heavy industry. If you stand long enough inside these overgrown yards, you can almost feel the ground vibrating from a century ago. Back in 1884, the Carnegie Steel Company staked its claim right here along the Monongahela River. They needed iron, mountains of it, to feed an expanding nation. They didn't just build a plant. They built an empire out of brick and riveted steel. Walking through these grounds today feels humbling. These massive structures aren't just rusting hunks of metal. They are the physical skeleton of the 20th century left out in the rain. Every beam tells a story of sweat, ambition, and backbreaking labor. Now, let us talk about the true heavyweights of the yard. Furnaces number 6 and number 7. Erected in 1907, they are rare survivors. Not many of these 20th century blast furnace designs are left standing today. They tower over 90 feet high, dominating the landscape like monolithic industrial beasts. Just picture the scale of them up close. Massive stoves, colossal dust catchers, and the intricate webbing of skip hoists rising toward the gray sky. Engineers designed every single rivet to withstand unimaginable pressure and heat. It was functional architecture at its most brutal and effective. During the peak production of the Second World War, this very site did something extraordinary. It churned out over 1,000 tons of molten pig iron every single day. Day and night, the fires burned hot enough to melt stone. Imagine the sensory overload of a shift change during the 1940s. The air thick with coal dust and sulfur. The deafening roar of superheated air forced into the furnace belly. The blinding orange glow of molten metal lighting up the dark river valley. Men worked 12-hour shifts near the casting floor. Sweat pouring down their faces, shielding their eyes from radiant heat that could blister skin from yards away. They weren't just workers. They were fire tenders stoking the very engine of the modern world. The sheer ingenuity required to operate these beasts was staggering. Raw iron ore, coke, and limestone loaded into the top. Blast air heated in massive stoves blown in from the bottom. Chemical reactions happening inside a controlled volcanic inferno. And out poured the pig iron. Flowing down the runners like liquid sunlight before being hauled off to the open hearths. This process single-handedly forged the American skyline. Every skyscraper, bridge, and locomotive had its genesis right here in the valley heat. Then, the tides turned. Global competition shifted. The local steel industry buckled under economic pressure. In 1978, after nearly a century of relentless production, the Carrie Furnace finally fell silent. Just like that, the fires went out. The thousands of men who walked these catwalks went home for the last time. Nature wasted no time moving back in. Weeds cracked through the concrete. Vines wrapped around the cold iron pipes. Today, these monolithic structures stand in eerie quietness. They are monuments to an era when we built things that lasted. When human muscle and engineering prowess reshaped the geography of a continent. Standing beneath these massive stoves, you have to wonder. What happens to the ghosts of an industrial empire when the fires go out forever? Do their echoes linger in the cold steel, waiting for someone to listen? Keep looking up at what we used to build. See you in the next ruin.